The purpose of today's session is to focus on something that has been going on my mind for more than 2 years, and that is the military training, how that teaches one, especially the youth between 18 to 21, it, the life skills, the discipline, the wisdom that is being taught. Unfortunately, I never went through that training. And I know that those of you who have been through that training, maybe at that time, 18 to 21, it seemed like a torture. But today, that is an asset, that is a skill, it is resilience, perseverance. So I am not glad that I did not go through that torture because maybe that would have taught me something more about life. But here I am with our very special, disciplined, yet positive and a very intelligent guest, Joe Rojas. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, thank you. What about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
That's amazing. Now, you've been to the military training.
Yeah.
Can you start telling us,
Well,
like, I'm sure you were 18 years old, and how it all began? How does it feel in the first year? What do they teach you? What do you end up learning? Some life lessons that you keep taking on after you complete and after you graduate from the military training. And I know this is essential because everyone should know self defense. You never know, there could be a war, but there could also be some attacks on you in isolation. So definitely that training has long-term utility, just the way basic skills like driving, cooking, reading, writing, all these are basic skills. Most of us take them for granted, but they are, without them, life would not be the same.
that is absolutely true. So I didn't go to as a kid. I quit school very early on, and when I turned 18, I decided that I wanted to go into military. So I got my GED, and then I applied for the Army National Guard. I took the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, which is the ASVAB, which is a test that lets you into the Army. And it was tough, but it was fun, So basic training was really great. And you get all this like really amazing training, not just on how to be a soldier, but you get some training on the history of the Army. You get some training on what it is that we're up to and why we defend our country and what are the rights that we're defending and we really get versed in what it is that we're up to out there as we're representing our country, especially for the National Guard, because the National Guard responds both to things that happen inside the country, like storms and police actions and anything like that, as well as overseas, right? So the National Guard really has a dual function. If there's an emergency in a state, the National Guard gets deployed, and they're the ones that can go and help people, everything from a medical emergency to, I remember in 1996, we had a big blizzard, and I remember digging tunnels out to the blizzard hit so fast that the snow plows, the sanitation snow plows, got stuck in the parking lot. And so we brought the big Hemet
Wait,
trucks.
you were digging tunnels?
We were digging tunnels in the snow to
Oh, oh,
hook up the the sanitation, it was so deep, the snow, we had to like literally dig a tunnel to get to the hookup and hook up the truck. And then with the Hemet, we would pull it out of the like the truck was still in, the Hemet is so strong that the truck was still in park and you can pull the truck straight out of the parking. So we plowed the streets first and we pulled the trucks out. So there's all this great training that you get. So then I went through basic training. And like I said, you get all this really great training in basic, and then we went to advanced individual training. And that's where I got all my technical training. I learned how to work on night vision, global positioning systems, infrared searchlights, chemical detectors, the M64 chemical detectors, um, and that really is where I learned how to be a technician, and thanks to that, that's what really helped me create my career because I had no other training, job skill training other than the job skill training that I got in the military. So when I came out of the military, um, I tried a few sales jobs and some security jobs, and I did well. I did okay, but I really missed the military life. So I applied for a job with the Department of Defense, and I got it. I worked for the DoD for 4 years, fixing thermal vision and night viewers and all kinds of really cool equipment, and having lots of fun and testing lots of weapons and doing lots of really cool things. And then, um, 4 years later, I got a job offer from a biomedical engineering company, and then um, from an IT company. Then I worked for that IT company, and then I started my own business. And it was all the lessons learned and all the things that I learned in the military that allowed me to be able to run my business effectively and to know what I was doing when I was fixing things and when I was like, so I got all my technical skills that helped me build a business from there. So I hope that tells you the story, right?
Well, that's a very profound story. What I'm curious to know, I'm sure this was more than 20 years back.
Oh
What
yeah.
life lessons do you still resonate that you learned when you were 18, 19 years old? Because
So,
I'm sure something stay with you for
well,
long.
I'm gonna tell you the training stays with you forever. Stays with you forever. So last year I was in the park with my son, and we were just hanging out. We were riding our bikes, everything was cool. There was this young boy that was riding around in an electric scooter, and man, that kid was moving. He was going so fast. It was like crazy. And we were about to leave the park, and I saw him come around and he lost control of the scooter and he slammed into a pole, right? And everybody ran over there. And then I was far away, so I really couldn't see. I just saw that a lot of people ran over there. But then the next thing that I saw really got me spooked, which is the parents with small children were covering their kids' eyes and turning them around. Right? And so I was like, uh-oh, something's bad. So I ran over there and the kid had hit the pole. He had a helmet on, thank God. So he cracked his helmet, but he cut his face open like this. Like it really, like it just flapped open. He's bleeding. And I run over there and his father's got him up on his feet and he's got him by the shoulders and kid's just bleeding out of his face, right? And so I had a bunch of napkins and I palmed them and I stopped the bleeding. I took the father out of the way. I stopped the bleeding. And the father's freaking out. He's completely freaking out. And I looked the boy right in the eyes and I said, "How are you doing?" And he said, it's hurting, but I think I'm okay. And I said, "Great. I'm going to move you to the bench, okay? I need you to follow me. Just look me in the eyes and follow me, and I'm going to move you to the bench." So I moved him to the bench, and the father is just freaking out, freaking out, freaking out. And so I turned to the father and I said, "Hey, tell me your name. Tell me your name. Tell me your name." He tells me his name. When, listen. take a deep breath. And I'm holding his son's face together while I'm doing all this, right? Take a deep breath. So he takes a deep breath. And I said, look, I need you to call 911 because I can't take my hands from your son's face, right? So I need you to call 911. So he calls 911 and he puts him on speaker. He's all freaking out. He's yelling. They don't understand what he's saying. And I'm like, stop, let me talk, right? I go, 911 operator. Yes, this is the address that we're at. I have a young boy. This is what's happening. This is the situation. He's bleeding. This is, I've stopped the bleeding for now. I've contained this. He's got a heavy laceration to the right cheek. I need the ambulance to come meet us now, right? And so then that happened, and the whole thing, like, I managed to stay calm, to stop his bleeding, to do all the things that I was trained to do as a soldier. I didn't freak out. I didn't panic. I didn't anything. It was just all the training kicked in. Now, after they put him in the ambulance and they took him away, then I was freaking out. Then I was like nervous. Then I was all this stuff. But it was instant. Like when you train over and over and over again, and then the emergency happens, you just jump into action and you don't even think about it. It is just programming. And the programming kicks in and it doesn't, you almost can't interfere with it, And so it was great. I saw the boy not too long ago and he still has a big scar in his face, but he was okay. And, the family, everybody turned out to be okay. But had I not had that training, God knows what would have happened because the father was really freaking out. He wasn't doing anything to stop the bleeding. And I don't think he knew how to, right? And so it was just it would have turned out a lot worse. So those are the kinds of things that when the fire department came, we were able to have a straight conversation. Then I handed them over to them, and they took him, they put him in the ambulance, and he's had a few surgeries on his face, but he's good now.
I
So
would
like that,
say that, when we started this conversation, I thought military training is important for discipline and for self defense. But you gave me a completely new perspective, and thank you so much for sharing how this military training can be useful in times of accidents and
yeah.
other similar adversities. So I have definitely learned something new. I got a new perspective, a fresh perspective. Thank you for that. Any final thoughts have you got for the youth? For the youth that is using more social media and is, you
Yeah,
know,
well, you have to ask yourself whether you want to be in control of your thoughts or you want somebody else to be in control of your thoughts. If you want somebody else to be in control of your thoughts, then scroll away, scroll away, scroll away. If you want to be in control of your thoughts, then you have to really bring some discipline. And discipline is about consistency. It's about doing the things that you need to do, even when you don't feel like it, so that you can get better and better every day. So if you're young and you're thinking about going in the military, absolutely do it and get yourself to that place where you can really be physically and mentally fit so that you can be responsive in life when things happen.
so that was the message for the youth and for people who are not qualified to go for the military training. Just do three things: wake up early morning, get your exercise done in the morning, and by exercise, I don't mean just walking, but proper strength training and meditation and all. So basically, the morning routine. And the third thing to do is to have a nutritious breakfast, or skip it if you need to, but don't go for any junk food, especially in the morning. These are three things, and obviously sleep well. So that's more than three. But I thank you, Joe, and I'm sure you must have also been taught in the military training about cold showers.
Well, they didn't really teach us about that, but I've certainly had plenty throughout my life. And
Yes, that
you
was
know,
number four for you. So I hope you all got a lot of value from this session. Certainly, I have, and I have widened my perspective. I thought just self defense and fighting a war, but actually, it can also be used for accidents and to help others,
yeah.
service to the society. So, thank you so much, and I look forward to more such conversations.
All right.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.